See, we were all raised to follow a dream. But whose dream was that? Well, the dream they want you to have. You start a life. You're born into the world, raised by two loving parents, might have siblings, might not, might be the only child. But the thing is this, they want you to get a better life that they had. And they want you to do more. You might can, whatever it is that you want to be, and that's what you focus on. And you go to high school, well, you go to elementary school, or kindergarten first, elementary school. You might go to high school, then go to college, and go from there. You know, and you leave college and you get your job. You might in between college, you might be working any odd job, waiter or whatever it is you want to do, waitress, whatever it is that you want to do to make that money, and you get independent. You learn independency where you can, you don't have to rely on your parents to help you and bail you out. You'll learn how to do that, and you're living the dream, and then you find somebody, then you engage and get married and have the kids, and you work hard and you support them, or the wife is working as well. The whole thing. You're getting into the whole thing, what how we are supposed to be, and that's what we all get into. But today, a lot of people want to be independent. They don't want to follow what they were taught to do. They want to do whatever they want. You know, buy any kind of a house. Maybe you don't even buy a house. They want to live the life they want to live. You see what I mean? They want to do things what they want. They don't want to follow rules or follow ways and, get into this trap. Put money in the bank. You can do anything with your money. Once it clears, you can take it out, stick it in a safe that you have, you know, or invest it and throw it into places where you can earn something on it, or it's sitting there instead of having that money just sitting there making what 1.1%. It's crazy. But that's what goes on today. They the days are gone when you used to make money, make interest on your money, and you don't make it unless you do online banking. You know, because they have no overhead. There's no storefront. Everything's online, and you'll make something. Not a lot of money, but you make something. You have to have a lot too to put in there. Minimum 10,000. You can still, on it's not 5%. Some of them have 5%, but they have restrictions and stuff like that. And that's another way to go about it, because the dream is you put the money in the bank and you have your checking and your savings. If you want to go CDs, when they were paying a lot of people went to the check CDs because they were paying 9%. They were paying a lot of money, but money had to be locked away for a long time. You couldn't touch it. It couldn't be touched. Now you have stocks, mutuals, all sorts of different kind of plans. They come with rules too. So, but is that the American dream? Is that what you're supposed to do? Yes, that's what they want you to do. That's the trap. That's what they want you to do. But you don't have to do that. I mean, you can take your money and do whatever you want with it. I mean, you work for it, right? You know, should you do whatever you want and enjoy life? Well, that's up to you. What's your dreams? What do you want? You don't have to follow. You don't have to get married and settle down and have the kids and all that stuff, or get married at a later age. Maybe you've been divorced many times, and and you still can't find that right person, and maybe you're not really supposed to get married, but like that. But it's tough. You can't find that right person. No matter what you do, you can't find that right person. But you keep trying anyway. What you that right person? What do they mean? That's supposed to be the person you're supposed to be with, and you can't find that person. You keep trying and getting the wrong person all the time. But the thing is, that's destiny. That's what's supposed to happen. You're trying to change something that's supposed to happen. Everybody's not lucky. You try to be lucky, but not everybody. You got to believe in a lot of stuff, and you might not want to believe in certain things, and certain things go a certain way. Because if you don't believe in certain things, it doesn't go the way you want it to go. And when it doesn't go the way you want it to go, this is how it is. So I know your parents, they believed in the ways they were taught, and they got you doing the same thing. But you can't fall for that trap. You can't go that way. You got to figure out what you want to do. And the rules are this: you get up, get ready to go to work, go in your vehicles, get stuck in traffic, and go to the job you are, or take the train. You still have to park the vehicle someplace, or you just go from bus to train, boom, and that's the way you do it. Major cities, if you live in cities, in a taxi, if you can get one, or you take the bus, or you take the train, and you get to your work, and you rush and get there. Make sure you get there on time. A lot of us can't get to work on time, cannot get up at all, always end up getting late. And they keep track of you. They track everything you do. You don't have anything to yourself. You know, they know when you get on that plane and fly away. They're tracking you now. You're tracked all the way. Your phone is tracking you. They know when you where you go and everything. It keeps track. I mean, you can turn all this stuff and leave it at home, and they can't track you that way. But they got cameras and everything. Everything is you're tracked. You're being tracked, and some say that's pretty bad, but why are they doing it? Maybe protecting you too. But they gotta know what you're going. You gotta know what you're doing. The cameras are out there, taking pictures of your plates. But this is the way society is. Do you want to get up, rush to work, have a toast, have your coffee, have your egg, have your bacon, get ready, jump, go, grab the bus you have to wait for, and take that bus to work, or you take the train, like I said, like that, you follow the procedure because it's all leading up to the dream. The dream is to own a home, get that mortgage, 30 years, um, fixed. You don't want an adjustable mortgage. It's one of the worst things to get, and you don't want that. So so adjustable. It's 30 years. You have 30 years to pay it off. And you might say, gee, can be paid off sooner? It depends. They might want 2 or 5 years or 10 years. That they have to make money. They're making money on you no matter what. It's a racket. They're making money on you. Credit card, same thing. They're making a racket. Credit card, they'll loan you. They'll say, hey, here's $10,000. Then you spend that whole 10,000. You're gonna have to pay it back. Whatever the monthly is supposed to be. They're making interest. Even if you pay the minimum, there's another interest hidden. You don't see it. So when you send that minimum in, there's another interest that's hanging there. The invisible interest. You don't see it. So this is how it is. And everybody falls for this stuff. Now I'm getting close to my end. One month, I sent 6 times the minimum. Yeah, that's right. That's what I did. I sent 6 times the minimum. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to get off, but I know when I send the last payment in, there's gonna be that hidden payment. So the next month, which would be May, there be that whatever the difference is. You can check because you can look in it. So when the next month kicks in, you can see if you have the money. I would advise you pay it because that little interest, because interest compound on it. So you gotta pay it off. So that's the trap with that. You gotta know what's going on. Don't be you know not aware of what things are. So basically, you're born, parents raise you. By the time you hit 6, and then you start to go to elementary school or kindergarten, and that's how it starts. You go throughout the whole system, and just to lead up to finding yourself an apartment, a house, whatever it is you can afford. You know, parents might have left you a couple of thousand, to buy a house. Like I said, I know somebody has a lot of money, and he bought his son a townhouse. Goes over 100 and what is it? I think 115,000. He was worried about the money. That's for his son. That makes sense. Yeah, but the son, does the son have to pay him back? It's your son. And he'll never pay him back. How he's gonna do it? He'll have to make a lot of money. But you, for you to get that house, you gotta have a loan, a good loan. Yeah, or you have to pay that money off. So because you have to get them, uh, whoever you're getting it from. It might be a bank, and then you can work with the bank with that. If it's a house that owned by the bank, then it's a different story. But if it's an individual selling it, it's a different story too. And you have to get sure that house is checked out completely. People overlook this. Oh my goodness, I got a house, and things have to fall apart, and things have to not working, and then you didn't do your homework. Roof has to be inspected. The whole thing has to be structurally sound. No cracks in the foundation. That has to hold all the wiring and the electrical. Any fires, anything, any weird stuff. House insulation. How the windows? Any leaks? Any leaks in the roof? There's a lot of stuff that you have to get involved with it. But hey, this is what you signed up for. You're gonna look into all that stuff. So that's the dream, and that's the what we fall into. Now, you could get an RV and live out of your RV, but remember, places to park it. Where are you gonna park it? Okay, or you can get a fabricated house and just live in the property, and this fabricated house. They come and they put the house together. It's made in the factory, and they assemble it on site. It should have a foundation, like a slot, that you have, and then they just build on top of that the house. It's faster that way. Uh, but some places might not want it, because it doesn't look like everybody's house. Because there's HOA communities and everything now. See, it's a lot of things get caught up in this trap. But this is the way they want you to do things. Yeah. Here comes a person who don't want to do what they want. You want to change things up. Society is all about the mortgage and the house. You really see anybody buying the house with cash? How much is the house? 500,000. Here's 500,000. Well, you're gonna have a cashier's check. You're not gonna have 500,000. Some people have it. Here's a briefcase. There you go. And they have to count it all. And take that pen, that marker pen, to see if it's real money. Okay, but most people, they're paying a mortgage a certain percentage based on their credit history. Your credit and those credit scores, 600, 700, 800, 900. I used to have the max. that was over 900. You get anything you want. But to get that kind of a high score, you have to know what you're doing. I give you some insight already what you have to do. In the past, you don't carry a balance, but if you pay everything off, then it shows to them that they don't know if you can handle a loan. They don't know if you can handle, paying monthly. How would you pay it? And they want it all automatic, come out of your bank automatically, and you'll never know if they made a mistake. You don't know. You don't want to fall into that trap. That's a bad trap to fall into, especially utility bills. Yeah, it's tough. You got to follow the dream. That's what they tell you. Follow the dream. Everything works out. But a lot of us choose not to follow that dream, and we go different avenues. We split off, and we go. This one goes, well, I don't want a house. I want to get an apartment. But apartment you have to rent, and it could be expensive. Yeah, a lot of money too. That's why they buy a house. You're buying a house, but you're still paying a mortgage. You're still paying off that loan. You don't have them. You may have 50,000 in the bank, but you make a good money, make over 100,000 a year, so you can afford that house. And then you have a vehicle and you're paying off that too. So they look at everything. They look at how much you have. Can I ask you how much you have in your mortgage? Okay, and show them proof that you've been paying that. How much you owe on your vehicle, and how you're paying that. Anything you owe, you got to put it on. They have to calculate it. Credit card payments too. All that stuff adds up. This is how the dream is. It's complicated. People don't realize it. Oh, yes, you have to pay your taxes. Yeah, that's another thing. You have to pay taxes. You can't just make money and just don't pay taxes. There's a little loophole with all our taxes too. If you don't make a certain amount per year, yeah, yeah. Say it depends your racket. What racket you're in. I shouldn't say racket. What level you're in. And stuff like that. Because you can take off your clothes, uniforms, going to school, all this different things. They got it well. So it's not like you're just uh, paying 50% of your. So if you made $1 million, you would give them half of that, 500,000. There you go. There's your taxes, and you keep 500,000 for yourself. Now that's a lot of money though, 500,000. But not like it used to be. So that's the way that works. Then you have your retirement money. I say for retirement money, if you didn't do it, put money away for retirement in case you didn't get enough that you want. Try not to have no mortgage and stuff or any loans by the time you retire that you don't want to get stuck. And another thing is the insurance. You don't get 100%. I thought the Medicare and all that you get 100%. No, it's 80%. No, it's still that play that little. That's what insurance companies do. They play that little 80%. They take care of 20%. You take care of. Why can't we have 100% like everybody else in the government has? Huh? It doesn't work that way. Isn't it a shame? Well, anyway, you can follow the dream or you can do it your way. And a lot of you want to do it your own way because you don't want to follow the dream. Because the dream can lead up to you and your wife, you and your husband didn't work out. You get a divorce. What a mess. They want part of this and one part of that. They're split up the assets and everything. It gets kind of complicated. That's why you got to find that right person and make sure that person is the person you want to be with. Don't just go, wow, they're good looking. You just want to be with them. That's more. You got to know, you guys. I'm not saying have 100% completely because you're not going to find nobody 100% completely. It's just that you get along. That's what counts. Hey, you found this video helpful, or you can relate to it. Hit that subscribe button. And everything else that goes with that. All right, you'll see me again.